Hey, it's your favorite Guilty Gear propagandist back for more propaganda, the Robo-Ky. He's like Kai, but a robot.
Are you interested in learning Robo-Ky to prepare yourself for him in Strive? No? Well, too bad. I wrote this before his reveal. Welcome to Plus R.
Created for lore purposes and becoming best buddies with Venom to take down Bedman in later games, he's just a joke character. I mean, and he is low tier. I mean, come on, what is a soulless husk compared to the unyielding, unwavering power of the human spirit? No. Oh, yeah, see, look, low tier, like I said. If he really was Kai, he would land that Slashback air throw on that burst. I mean, come on. Okay, in all honesty, he's not bad. He's just comically volatile to play and really hard to get a handle on.
Where'd it go? Oh, it worked! No fucking way!
But that volatility can get you wins like this. Robo-Ky's whole shtick is that the original is the defective one, not him, of course. So let's get into why he's so readily erupting in his gameplay and his win quotes by understanding how that Robo heart ticks by getting into his core mechanics and his Robo buttons. And before we do, it's not an ad. Step away from the fast forward button.
See, I wanted to set the vibe by following Robo-Ky on the Everything app XX and then reading out some of his slashes.
I mean, he has the blue burst checkmark on his accounts. I mean, what can go wrong? I feel like his posts have to be good, right? Let's see. Resistance is futile. Beg for my forgiveness. Or better yet, just kill yourselves. It must have been one of those defects he was talking about. Let's try another one. You've got a naughty mouth, but those breasts, they're too perfect. Starting to regret this already. Let's find out why this robot's in heat. Oh, and if you want to just skip to the bread and butter combos, there's a time code in the description, but then you're going to miss all the really cool and necessary inside jokes when we get there, so you would want to do that, right? Right? Robo-Ky is a gimmicky guy. No, not that. Because as you can see, he's a complex person. In terms of his gameplay, at least. He has a few unique mechanics, like this heatometer here, not a thermometer, that name is taken. It goes from a 30 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees, where every tick is 10 degrees. See, it goes up from using certain specials and normals, backdashing, and even blocking. It depends on the level of move that you block that'll increase the heat, so it doesn't matter if you I, B, or FD it. This is great, because after 80 heat, a lot of your moves do 10% more damage, and then gives you some extra special properties, too.
Oh, no!
Like, some of his normals actually do chip damage now. I didn't realize this until after I was recording, but every little bit helps. And as a bonus and very key feature, you'll have about 6 frames more hit stun and 8 frames more untech time, giving unique combos like this. So what could possibly be the downside? He explodes. Yep. So the extra damage and properties are a reward for balancing your heatometer and not going past 99, because if you do, you explode and take 35 damage, interrupting any momentum that you have.
Oh no.
Really leans in his whole defect theming. So it actually places an unblockable hitbox on top of Robo-Ky wherever he is, so it doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a combo, just spent meter, you're punished for poor heat management.
Oh no! Alright, well.
It'll even wait until you're done with an invincible move like a DP or a backdash and then pop your ass. Get used to looking at that meter constantly, or it could jump scare you.
What the? Damn it! No.
See, this can feel punishing because at best it'll get you in a hard knockdown situation, and at worst it can get you into a combo and be killed for it.
No, the fuck over here! Son of a bitch.
Alright, I kinda lied. At best, you can do this. So, being an unblockable, that means you can air Slashback it, but considering my attempts, good luck with the timing. Gotta look at that meter and just eyeball it. This is something you'll say a lot when you're first starting out.
Oh, I exploded!
Because your opponent can conveniently hit you with a straight button afterwards, or get a full pickup.
Oh, no.
Like I said, it'll wait for your iframes to be up, so DPs, backdashes, and yeah, even bursts, it'll wait until after and then kill you. Our combo breaker just got counter breakered. You can do the cardinal sin of just blocking, scary, I know, and still get blown up because your circuits were just feeling themselves a little too much. Corner with no meter, high heat, and no health. It's kind of your fault for being there in the first place. Yeah, your fault. Not mine. No, not me. No, cut the name out again. Do it again. Do it again. Be sure to use that meter by FDing or DPing to get out. Otherwise, you'll eat a combo. Or just don't run in when you're about to bust, because at that point, you're just kind of feeding. This also applies so when you're mid-combo, since some moves increase heat as you use them, any heat generated from before, plus whatever you're using right now, can lead to sad situations like this.
No! No!
In short, here's all the moves that do generate heat, so be aware. And here's specific moves that only increase heat when you're already in that like 80-degree range. Weird, but let's not go full defect mode though. There are some times where this can be a good thing. Luckily, you can sometimes get away with it if your opponent isn't paying attention. This is when you want your overheat combo breaker to actually happen. Despite the damage you do take, it could be better than what they were about to do to you. They could be doing their normal route, and then because you exploded, screwed up their timing, and now you're free. Good players will still recognize when it's about to happen and then just combo off it anyway, even from the top rope way up there. He's a Robo-Ky enjoyer. Of course he would know that would happen.
That's a full combo.
Besides Slashback and intentionally busting, there are other ways to counteract heat, like 6H for example, but we'll get to that later. Luckily, that's the only whack mechanic he has. It's not like he has to, oh, he's got to manually generate his meter, like it's an 1850s crank. Okay, yeah, so Robert has to put down this little mat here using his 2D, and each little pip on his meter is equal to about 10% of meter. Gimmicky, isn't it? No, that is the actual name of it this time. This will be a recurring joke. I told you you'd miss some if you skip to the bread and butter. It's your fault. Luckily, you can cancel into 2D from pretty much all of his normals, especially his sweep, which in this case is 2S. Put down 2D when you're plus or any block string when you're confident they're not going to press on you, and even go for like tick throw setups if you're brazen. Funny enough, you actually give your opponent meter when they're on the mat as well, so I mean this other Kyle will just kind of vibing like Magic Carpet Ride or some shit. In general, Robert gains about half the amount of tension that a normal character would by movement alone, but on that mat, it's some of the best meter gain in the game. Plus, you gain additional meter from when you slash back or instant block something. So if you see those notes coming at you, you best believe you're about to get a full stick of butter out of it. Bridget just posted some new delay Getup tech from her move where she like sets the yo-yo down. I sure hope Robert doesn't steal that tech from an instant girl that he definitely says nice things about her on XX the Everything app. Let's check one of his slashes. Oh, it just says trans rights. You go, Robert. Shame on you for stealing it, though, you appropriating ass robot. So yeah, Robert has a delay Getup. You can't perform it from a sliding knockdown, but every other knockdown, just hold P and K. You'll take a break, talk some shit, and even give your opponent a little meter. This is great for messing up their Oki timing, and you may even throw them off enough that you might get a counterattack yourself.
I do it.
This is especially relevant when you have projectile style Oki because you know what they're going to want to put on you as soon as you get up. And poor Andy, he doesn't even know what to do anymore. They took his whole kit away. Superbly sliding under Venom's slippery balls is the best foreshadowing I could ever ask for in this game. Especially with super flashes, you have plenty of time to decide what you want to do with your life when you get up out of bed, get up during the round in the game that you're playing. Avoid unblockables from Bridget and Eddie because, hey, if they're not going to play by the rules, why should you? Yes, that goes for you too, Abba. Just because you're the last plus R mini main character does not give you such privileges! Another little benefit is the fact that you can actually do this while you're stunned still, so you give more time to yourself when you need to mash and not get instant killed. Yeah, sliding knockdown, no. Stunned, of course! But anyway, yeah, use this to mess with your opponent's timing in general, and then, of course, mash grab if they're close, because they're probably going to be right next to you and not expect it, unless they expect it. So just, don't spam it, because it'll be pretty obvious if you continue to use it, so vary it up. And, I mean, hey, they might just be ready for you anyway. Can't sleep on them. Last bits of house cleaning. Dead angle, of course. Half your meter to get them off of you, but has a huge meter gain penalty, and you want meter, so be careful. Flashback is a 2-frame parry that's hard to time, but has a huge reward if you pull it off, and it's sick as f***. We'll be using that a lot. For 25 meter, you have the FRC, which cancels certain moves at very certain times to recover instantly. And it's also sick as f***. Okay, we good? No more bullshit mechanics like he has to do the opponent's taxes if it's the birthday? Alright, sweet. Oh, I think Robert just put out another slash on XX about how Order Soul didn't get into Strive. Let's take a look. It's probably nothing. You look like that potato head. Ha ha. Hey, what's with the hate? Something wrong, potato head? It just kind of seems like bullying. I think I'll just put him on mute for now. I'm sure it won't be an escalating recurring bit. It's button time. My favorite. 5P is a great button that hits crouchers and then links into 5K and 2P on hit since it can't actually rapid cancel into itself. Being fast and hitting crouchers lets you use this button confidently after like a jump in or after a slashback parry. It's also +7 on block, so you can use this on Oki, as a meaty, for mix, or even right before a command grab to set it up. Speaking of meaty, it's a good technique to whiff 5P on Oki to kind of set up your timing better. From the grabs to the lockdown specials to the very important high-low mix-up that Robo-Ky has in the 5K and then the Titan Knee DP input. But if you do decide to forego your metallic instincts and go for 5P as a meaty, you can actually be safe from certain reversals and DPs. And that includes bursts as well, so you can kind of react to what you see because of its short recovery and just choose how to punish how you want. Other notable things like 5P confirming into itself on counter hit, but more importantly the high heat tech like 5P6H loop, which does a ton of damage. Which is cool and all, but why would you counter poke with it? Look at that extendo hand disjoint! Challenge at round start, or just as a panic anti-air. A plus disjointed fast normal that can hit Gunblaze of all things? What can't it do? Hit fast crouching, right. For those who use 2P. 2P, a button often overlooked by me as just a way to go into close slash and pick up a combo like this, but you know, that burst bait was kind of sick though. It's a stubby button that is just as fast as 5P, but now you don't have to actually link out of it to confirm. This makes it a good option for slashback punishes because you can use the sweet Gatling circuits and convert it into a knockdown very reliably. Can you tell I like slashback?
I love Slashback.
It's also +3 since why not? Kind of makes it a good meaty like 5P to be safe from reversals and then just to kind of mash out when you're in pressure. Perfect since you can actually reverse Gatling into 2P from close slash to make yourself plus out of any block string. You may start with 5K close slash, and in most cases you can't do another K move, right? Well, now you can reverse beat into 2P, do 2K into 2S for even more lows. Kind of like reverse beat from Melty Blood if you're familiar with that, and I am, so I like it. Speaking of being deceptive with your many lows, 2P not being one of them, 5K, the standing low of privilege, was still inherited into this bucket of bolts from the Flesh and Blood version. Also coming with the added benefit of spamming it ad infinitum. And since a Gatling's in a close slash and a 6P for a knockdown, it really turns into a you're gonna learn to block today kind of move. Spamming isn't just for trolling, it can be used to lock your opponent down from escaping, and then of course break through armor with multiple hits, just not all armor, just remember. So use 5K when 5P and 2P would whiff, because this thing could hit things like Stroke and Ground Viper. Yeah, I was surprised too. It's not plus like the other moves that we talked about, but it can delay Gatling into 5P and 2P to rebuy those plus frames, or be used like a tick throw, because they might be expecting a whole bunch of 5Ks, but you only did one. Not a lot of niche uses that you can do besides this cool little side swap I did because it hits so low, but that's because it's mainly used for opening people up, and since it can be jump canceled, you've just unlocked the Tiger Knee mix-ups. Here's me seeing 5K jump cancel T-key level, oh my god. 5K jump cancel DP, oh, Jesus Christ. 5K jump cancel Tiger Knee level 2 DP in the air for the first time.
Oh my god.
Yes, that was fighting game terminology. No, it's not good language. And this can be done at any point in your 5K spamming spree, so keep them on their toes. With your toes. Yuck. They're robot toes, it's fine, they don't sweat. Close slash, typical combo and block string filler that is unfortunately minus on block, but don't forget, close slash can go back into 2P as a reverse Gatling, making you even +2 on whiff. Without meter, it's the most stable and reliable air combo pickup button. Since they are so high up, it's great on lightweights especially. Can Gatling into 6P or 2S to get a knockdown of your choice and get your Oki started. And on high heat, you can start doing some funny loops like this little horsey ride here. And then you could even use it with 6H, kind of like how I mentioned with 5P, the little loop back and forth for some chunky damage. Though he does have that Soul 5H problem where he kind of leans forward when he does the move, so he might whiff if you're really close. R slash does the same thing, leaning forward and double fisting your opponent safely and effectively. Counter hit gives a nice floaty knockdown, so plenty of time to gain meter with 2D or run in for pressure. This range also helps if you're unsure if close slash or 5H will reach, because these go-go gadget fingies will be there when that burst ends, baby. Oh. May not hit as quickly or as low as a 5P would, but that small disjoint in the front will cause a lot of trades, or at least clash at best. Best practice is to get comfortable with bouncing between the far slash and the level 2 and level 3 horsey specials, since you go from a safe poke to a plus special in their face. Eventually they'll fold, or they'll burst out from all the bullying you're doing to them. And when you got some heat going, that horsey ride is going to be bucked up. Okay, actually, what the buck? The connection didn't let me finish my combo here, but I promise it does work up to a certain point. Oh, no! Oh, come on. Oh, my God. What the fuck is happening? Go back and replay for that one. Shout out to the best feature in any fighting game. It only took about an hour to find the right route to kill him in this clip, but that's kind of what I find enjoyable about the combo recipe and the routing in this game. It's just so freeform. It's like jazz. The equivalent of an M.2 SSD in your Robert Kyle's moveset, 5H is here to be fast and deadly, as you see it here clashing with other moves. Flash cancel my DP into 5H. Not me mashing. I wouldn't. Why? No. The blazing fast 5-frame gut punch that staggers on counter hit and benefits even more from that high heat extra hit stun frames. With that processing speed, you'll pick up combos you never thought were possible. Or at worst, hit them by accident when you're trying to mash throw. Mashing's okay. Oh, okay. Well, at worst, you'll get punished since this thing is actually minus on hit. Better have meter on deck, or bet on a counter hit to make sure you're safe. Yeah, and speaking of meter, boy does this thing with Roman cancels. Pretty sure that's what it stands for. 25 meter and instant recovery, letting you be safe when you need to, and bully your opponent when you want to. I tend to plink 5H into RC since the timing for it is really that quick. No. Not that quick, because you might accidentally get IK activation, like I did here, and that's bad, of course. 5H FRC is bonkers because of how fast it is, because you can use it like a check. Oh! Confirm if it hits, or immediately jump to confirm, or even air throw if necessary. Can you tell I like the 5H FRC air throw option? A good way to start incorporating it into your toolkit to begin with is after the 2K2S string, since it's not a Gatling, but it's actually a frame trap there. And when you start getting comfy, start throwing FRC in there to get that nice confirm. And remember, it's okay if they block because you recover instantly, so get in there and keep pressing buttons. Go in there and confirm that knockdown. Speaking of that knockdown with 2S, why don't you use 5H after that on hit to actually confirm into an air combo? It works. Same timing if it was on block if you were trying to do that frame trap, but now you just dash forward after the hit so you can get that close slash to confirm. 5H FRC is a pretty common replacement if you don't want to go with the close slash pickup, and you'll see it a lot after like a throw RC or throw FRC. Just beware of its range, as sometimes you'll whiff or hit 5H too early. You'll get used to the timing and the hit stun that 5H gives you with an air pickup, especially after you start doing FRC throws and level 3 horsey, and that sounds like gibberish, but I'm sure that it'll make sense very soon, don't worry. Mashing out. But this time with FRC. Because yeah, I totally meant to throw there, but I got 5H, so what can I do? Oopsie. The 5D is your universal overhead, and this can't possibly be the... Oh my god, the range! Mostly used for funny, because you just kind of hit JD over and over with little helicopter blades coming out of his head, and do a pretty good chunk of damage even in high heat, so yeah, it's nice. You can of course make use of the Impossible Dust combos for a slightly better air combo, or go to the corner for missile loops, your strongest stun option, which of course we will get to in the throw section actually. Alright, Impossible Dust. They're done by doing 5D, jump, quickly double jump, and then hit a button, and you should land earlier than normal while they're still stuck in hit stun. It'll be like 5D, 8, hit a button, land, and you can do like an air combo or whatever I'm doing here. Not so impossible, turns out. Mostly use this to force a mix-up on the overclock super if they're blocking it, since they have to sit there and gotta guess, so you usually have a lot of risk, and it's very possible they may just die, so when you're getting zoned out, don't you just kind of wish you had a gun to stop them? In-game, I mean. It's the classic robot joint shotgun. Not as knee-slapping as Arya's, but at least you'll be throwing bows like you're in the club. Anyway, this 6P destroys projectiles and can be fired up to 3 consecutive times. See Gunflame? Hit 6 PP. Or 6 PPP, and blast right through it. It is a projectile itself, so it can be nullified and flicked, so beware. Oh. But even if that does fail, it's still a 6P, so you still have upper body invul to save you. The upper body invul and the hitbox look great, until you know where they're actually placed, and then you see the jump-in angle that everyone normally jumps in at, and you see the problem, right? Yeah, not gonna lie, that hitbox is great for disjointed pokes right in front of you, and that range kind of makes it look like the models from the Modern Warfare 2 game. Not that one, the other one. I don't remember the pre-patch models hitting behind, though. It can be a real challenge to hit them at that usual jump-in angle with that vertical height, but right here, this is ideal. It really shines in that horizontal department, and as tradition, I'm sure I'm 6Ping a Ryujin right now, not even thinking about it, because invuln starts frame 1, so as soon as that arm comes up, denied. And f*** it. Show it beating Ino's air super, because at that range, not many can actually reach, but it really is not a good anti-air, as I mentioned. I mean, just look at the space you usually get jumped in on. You'll either be right in that negative space when they ID in, or they'll be able to jump in deep on you because it has kind of average startup. If everyone was like a Street Fighter character and everyone jumped in like this guy, it would not be as much of a problem.
That button is fucking absurd.
But things like Riot Stamp exist in this game for better or worse, and in this case, it's one of those worst times. Oh, what the f- Normally a soul hanging himself, Riot Stamp becomes something you shouldn't actually react to with 6P because you actually have to hit him in that further hitbox. Oh my god. He's up close.
Look at that!
Oh. Nothing, you can see, you see the clips. Most have frame 1 upper invuln with a 6P, but the hitbox usually takes care of the Riot Stamp for him. But not in Robo-Ky's case. Might just stick with 5P in these cases, honestly. Also, it can't be used to beat Slayer's super this close. You have to move a little bit further back. Most other characters would work, and of course Slayer's does, but I just saw this situation, I'm like, if I was If I was playing this guy, there'd be way less problems here. Anyway, the main use of C.S.P.D is a consistent knockdown at any height and any distance if you only shoot once. You can use the second or third shot to actually extend the upper body invul that you have, so you can catch things like Bandit Bringer or Great Sever, but just know you won't be getting a knockdown after using it. But it is pretty useful if you 6-speed too early, since you can just pull the trigger 2 more times and try again. Or you could use that tech out to go for an air throw or let them tech out and corner themselves. And you can really delay those 6-speed shots to bait them into moving even just a little bit closer to you. Again, more of a spacing timing thing. You can cover yourself with more iframes and still hit them. Just beware, this is the fastest way to overheat yourself, since every consecutive shot generates more heat than the last one, so it's a very quick path to System 32ing yourself. So 2K... Great, Kyle must be slashing again. I thought I put him on mute until tomorrow. Great, it's about May. It's probably like the Totsugeki spam or something. Let's see. Useless brat. No unsexy females have the right to fight with me. It's giving Andrew Tate. Anyway, back to 2K. Ever want to take the best part of Kai's stun dipper without the punishable part? Welcome to 2K, the low-profile sliding normal at your disposal. A consistent way to hit low and confirm into a knockdown with 2S. Also hits the ground, so you can prevent those souls from cleaning the floors with their tongues.
No, stop.
The only real downside is that you do generate a little bit of heat when you use it, so you can accidentally blue screen if you're not careful. And of course, you're still subject to the usual low crush options that a lot of characters do have. Usual suspects like the Johnny Dash or anything that lifts people off the ground. Anything that can beat Ground Viper is gonna beat this. But you know what you can do? Go under everything that doesn't beat Ground Viper. From ninjas, sea worlds, and especially the defective one. Punish them accordingly once you go under. Jumping horizontal moves are easily dodged, but your ability to punish may vary. The easiest to dodge are projectiles because you can use it like a Tatsu as if you were playing Sleep Fighter 6, but I guess it's more like Green Slimer 6 at this point. Probably the best iteration of this tech is to avoid setups, so you can sneak out of the corner or just do your best trying to trigger the Testament trap, go into the nets or the floating skulls. Just stay low, because most assume you're going to go into 2S. You can use 2K as a slide and just go in for a tick throw. Closing distance while putting the fear in them that a follow-up may be coming makes it easier than you think. Your -8 point blank, but if you space it out enough, you can be safe or even plus, so grab away. Instead of gimmicky moves, not that one, why not actually go into the 2S for that knockdown we talked about? No, not 2D, that's the mat, the laser beam to the kneecaps one. Unsafe on block, but still relatively okay to autopilot on block and into 2D if you aren't too close to them. Pretty standard sweep when you're in high heat.
Oh my god!
You get an additional explosion hitbox that is +1 on block and launches on hit for a free combo. Normally you need to like 5H with meter to actually get an air combo here, but now you just get it for free in high heat. 2S is one of those moves where it only increases heat when you're in the 80-degree range, so while you're making those explosions, just try not to commit Sudoku to your circuits. 6P not anti-airing like you want them to, and those sweet pot cheeks are still clapping you in the face. Not sure why you'd want to stop that, but 2H is a decent option. Really give pot something to sit on. Anyway, really good for moves that come down vertically like this cliff move or anything that has like a dive kick angle. Otherwise, you have to be pretty preemptive and predict their approach to catch them with this separate missile firing joint. I don't think Arya has one of those in her knees. That's pretty close. On counter hit, you do get a pot JD's load of hit stun, so you can go for an air combo or even get a Robodash if you're quick enough. And you can bet on getting a few counter hits on airborne opponents because while it does look like a projectile, this is still considered a grounded normal, so they do have to FD it. Not many people know that.
Oh! Yeah!
Kyle's a wacky, no not that character, so this is one of those quirks that you can use to really edge out the win on your opponent. Force them to figure out that FD is the true answer so they can prevent themselves from being juggled into the stratosphere. A good move to check people on if they tech out above you. And if they don't know how to tech forward and they run out of meter in the corner, this can happen. Brother. I think this guy just kind of gave up or really thought that not teching was just the right answer for some reason. Maybe just like the free ticket to the moon. Remember when I said it could be a decent anti-air replacement for 6P? I kind of lied. It's still got a vertical hitbox to protect your most vital organ, but it does have a dead zone right next to your most vital organ.
No way.
On the bright side, it can clash with projectiles, so that's still a win. Luckily, as a last resort, it does have an FRC point, so that can be your saving grace. You can use it to combo off of stray missiles like this, get an air combo, or more likely the case, cut the massive recovery it does have, and just kind of get out of dodge. The Dust Loop said, try 2H FRC FD. It hides the overhead.
It's great. But I'm not buying it. Plus, I'm just not going to spend that kind of meter when I have 5 HFRC.
You know what is better than 2 HFRC though? In high heat, that missile goes up, and it comes right back down. And guess where it lands? Your opponent's face. Yes, this does act like 2S, where if you are in the red, you are going to generate more heat, and you could explode, but not before they do. It doesn't home in or anything, it just comes straight down from where you first fired it. So throw a few out, and your opponent might forget it's coming down, kind of like Faust Meteors. Again, king of gimmicky, not bad, attacked, but man, the audacity that they think they can run up on you and attack you? And even if you do get hit out of 2H, as long as it went up, it's coming back down. You already have Overheat and Overclock as pseudo burst that's coming up, but this one might be my favorite type of pseudo burst. You won't see a more rapid duality of man example than in this clip right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even some super cinematics are not safe from this missile coming down.
Where'd it go? Oh,
The game might give invuln to get that initial hit, but not during that cinematic. It wasn't accounted for that. Okay, maybe this one did though. Once you get comfy with it, and you know you might just overheat anyway, 2H is a pretty good insurance policy. Oh, I'm cornered and overheating? Wow, it'd be a shame if an ICBM just came over and kissed you on the lips. Use it as a bait. I'm a poor defenseless Robert-Ky here at full screen. Oh no, I'm a poor overheated Robert-Ky. What do I do? I'm so defenseless. The biggest brain is 2H FRC and make them think you're running away.
That was sick.
Beware, as most throws will keep them from being hit.
No.
Unless they are too quick, that is. Look, I have no sympathy for Plus Armelia, I just gotta be honest. The 2H missile, by the way, is near impossible to combo off of, so don't even bother. It's just not worth it. At this point, you might ask, what if I don't want to explode if I get too hot? And to that I say, insert sexual joke here. 6H, the letting off steam type move. I'll be honest, low heat 6H is just awful. It's tiny, does no damage, and there's no reason to reduce your heat and stay in that lower heat level anyway, so ideally you use like 6P and other special moves to get you into like medium heat, and then use 6H to cool yourself off and then, you know, prevent yourself from busting. I mean, if you could stick into the high heat of like 80 to 99 degrees, great, but I mean, Robert's mechanics really prevent that from being easy. But you can do fun stuff like 6H, 2H, where one makes you hotter while the other cools you off, so you can effectively cover half the screen with hitboxes. Anyway, all versions of 6H are considered a projectile and cancels out other projectiles on its way in with a nice disjoint. I mean, even low heat 6H does have a nice little disjoint and can beat out some moves surprisingly, but don't count on it. 6H FRC exists, and it's kind of what you'd expect for all versions. Act quicker, safely poke, but personally I didn't use it that much myself. Alright, medium heat 6H, noted by the orangish larger smoke cloud that he exhausts. It is +3, it's the best of the bunch, and it's good to throw up whether you need to cool off or not. Counter hit leads to a stagger, so you can combo off of that, if you're ready for it.
Oh, what the f***?
But you'll mainly want to use this after a knockdown as a meaty, be Giga Plus, run your Oki, or you can just spam it and still be pretty safe. And great for landing command grabs as well. Counter hit, or just from being plus. So high heat 6H, noted by the black cloud of smoke, you'll see it a lot when you're first starting out since it is the ocean I'm about to bust button. And it's a good time to mention that just like level 2, it's not as big as the smoke cloud would suggest, and the higher the level, the slower it actually comes out. It's only by a few frames, but that can matter in certain situations.
No, it's too slow.
Sadly, it is -1, but it still can be plus when you media it correctly. Not a huge deal, but worth mentioning. Also, that was sick. Get Sometimes you'll use this when you don't want to, just so you don't bust, but on any hit, normal or counter hit, it will give you a stagger for an easy conversion. Or start doing those 6H loops I talked about before. Simplest is 5P 6H, run up 5P 6H over and over until you're back into the medium heat range. But depending on how hard they're wiggling, not mashing, Plus-R has you literally jorking that shit. If their hips are in fact lying, they won't wiggle out and you might just get more damage than you were supposed to. But here it looks true, but they actually could have blocked if they cranked it hard enough. It's a good move, but just don't forget its main purpose is to cool you down. Oh, too late. Yeah, if you're running too hot, even if it does come out, it doesn't always save you. Speaking of heat, I feel like I'm in the red right now. I could be in the 80 degree, but... Hold on. It better not be him liking another one of those billionaire crows slashes. Last time it was about him making like an autonomous robot. Ends up being like a woman in a suit. Let's see. Oh, it's a conversation. Such a perfect body. Creepy. Appraiser. Nope. Yuck. Appreciate all you want. Bring her back. Effective professor. Peeking is despicable.
Oh, it's his job. Yeah, whatever. No, voyeurism does not equal science. I'm disgusted. You fail as a human. I think he's kind of getting there, you know? He kind of redeemed himself. Baby steps and all that. By having an above average throw range and the ability to delay his wake-ups, Robo-Ky is really good at utilizing his sticky fingers. Landing the throw gives you time to set up with the 2D, still going for pressure, and even be on the lookout for reversals. It's real good. But say you need one more hit after that throw to close it out. Well, luckily you do have RC and FRC after the throw if you do want to go into an air combo. This FRC combined with other moves like 5H FRC can turn a simple mistake on their part into a good chunk of that health bar. Corner lets you do cool stuff like the 6P loop that still gives a knockdown when all is said and done. But let's see what you can do if you have enough meter for at least level 2 missiles after you throw RC. Yeah, that's supposed to stun most characters at the cast off of one throw, with everyone having their own routes that are pretty damn hard. But for ease of example, now show it on chip! So you only need 75 meter if you FRC and 100 if you RC, but still, huge damage even if there's no stun. That combo may be hard. You know what's even harder? Robo-Ky's thick alloy shaft. His air throws. No, I did not air throw that. Oh, I fucking had that. Son of a bitch. Here, I felt like I should have gotten it, but I died for it. Oh no, that was my throw. Get out of here. I fucking threw that. Come on. No. Well, I am on my goo goo gaga shit here at this point. This was before I knew that Kyle had the same pre-jump frames as Potemkin. Tied for the slowest in the game at 5 frames. You feel like a ton of bricks trying to get off the ground, while others like Kai and Justice for some reason enjoy a 3-frame pre-jump. This leads to feeling about 1 or 2 frames off of your usual air throw punishes you may be used to, and you may get salty and run it back in replay mode just to prove you're not crazy. There we go. Couldn't be me though. Anyway, once you get used to it and you get over the 2-frame slower pre-jump, just go back to your usual. Cover for your lack of a traditionally good anti-air with 6P and 2H, and just go for an air throw when they use their Oki or on offense. Oh, that was sick! Even if you could have thrown them before if you weren't weighed down by your massive roll balls, the throw clashes you will respect more since it is a 2-frame window, and it shows that you and your opponent's brains were touching tips. Oh, what a break. Nice. Of course, air resets are common since your DP doesn't knock down, and multiple 6Ps will let them tech out, so be ready. Good time to bring back up 5H FRC, so act immediately and elegantly toss them into the wall. If they hit that wall, they'll be just slightly out of the corner, leading to a dastardly mind game for a mix afterwards. But that's only if you can't pick it up with a well-timed 2P to tack on a few more extra hits. Easier on lightweights, but it's definitely worth practicing. If you're not in the air to toss them, I hope you're hitting this button, JP. Yes. A great button to pick up stray hits due to its range and low recovery. Think of it like a 5P but in the air. Also plays a role as the meat between the JS sandwich and your air combos, as well as air block strings that you add more overheads as you staircase them down to the ground. Or just spam it into itself like 5P on the ground. This button is your best air to air. Disjointed and quick, letting you poke out even when you're jumping backwards, giving them a stop sign to run into. What? So you already know I abused the hell out of this on round start. Confirm into JS or wait for a counter hit and confirm to another one on your way over. Rising JP, even on pressure, is a good call out since you get a combo at best, and at worst, you staircase them down to the ground again. This also applies to moves like Bringer and Mega Fist since they are quick but reactable, so go ahead and meet them into the air with his Rising Bitch Slap. I think it really can beat anything. Come on, bring on Soul JP. Alright, I'll take a tie. You know what? I'll take the tie. Alright, what about a move just as fast, disjointed as well, and hits a little bit further in front? JK is your new friend. Has more recovery than JP, but does let you pick up combos like this. Plus it's jump cancel and special cancelable, so there is more versatility in it. Not a great jump in move, but it can be used due to its speed with EX Copter for a instant overhead, which we will touch on soon. Plus it gives you a little thumbs up. What more can you want from this charming little Kyle? Ever wanted to send a soul player to horny jail for trying to do it raw with super, but you just couldn't reach them? No, I freaked it. Introducing JS, the ultimate bonk machine and your go-to damage air normal. Oh yeah. It has more damage than JH, which is up next, plus it still has that nice, satisfying metallic bonking noise shared with 5H. Not only is it a sick Tyrant punish, but I tend to use it as a jump in and for safe jumps as well. Counter hitting with this move gives you a nice dribble that you can go right into an air combo for even more bonks. Go ahead, tech out and fly in with this button, because it's just as scary as it is satisfying to the ears. Or just confirm right into super, just to prevent them from bursting. Oh well. Think of JS like Potemkin's, even that nice little pop-up after hitting them at that downward angle. Not gonna lie, I use this move probably more than I should have when air dashing because as a reward on hit and the possibility of deleting them with a counter hit was way too intoxicating, especially in the corner. Also, it makes people burst, so steal that soul. Due to its range, it makes a great punish for a gunflame or as a nice surprise after a blocked and RC DP. You were expecting a punish, but it was Hammer! And that's before we even get to the EX Copter section where you have double bonk potential. Beware, it's not an actual pot JS. I did kind of lie to learn the pot players. There is a big dead zone at the shafts and below him since it doesn't actually swing between the knees like pots does. Plus only being active for 2 frames at the bonk section. There's no pre-swing hitbox at all.
What?
Kyle seems to be more of a shower, not a grower, I guess. JH is the button you use to jump scare your opponents with since it's faster than JS and counter hit is truly something to fear. Regular hit is okay, but since it hits pretty horizontally, you can be punished if it hits too high, so stick with air to airs unless you really want to special cancel it since you can. But I use it for the rare corner mix because on counter hit I hope for a wall stake which usually results in a nice and easy air combo. Just like JS after a block DP Roman cancel, it's good for a nice trick up your circuits. It is 1 frame faster and has 1 more active frame than JS at least, so it works great if you meant to air throw but you get this instead. And if you do get to the corner in time with air missiles on deck, you can't go back to replay. I don't want to see how I dropped that. I hate that. Yeah. Replay mode's so good. I wish I could replay mode take over my life. Speaking of getting there, you really do home run their asses, and if you can bring the screen closer to the corner and actually get to that wall, you can even get like a Robodash. What does a Robro do when you're this high though? Soon, Robros. Soon. It also raises heat about as much as that third 6P shot, so can be good if you want heat, but if you're not planning on it. Finally, JD, the Rafflecopter of Robo-Ky's moves. You can only laugh at that if you're 30 years old. I don't make the rules.
What? Okay.
It's a weird 12 hitting air combo ender that surprisingly works as a chip teleport denier since you can just kind of jump and use it and hitboxes right up here, so you rise slightly upwards while hitting with your helicopter blades. Helicopter? Again, you don't have the best vertical anti-air, so a rising JD isn't terrible. Just air throw instead. Not good horizontally, but you can use the momentum of the JD to actually move around the screen or delay you coming down from your jumps. Super jump into JD while holding forward can actually get you out of the corner, especially with your air dash. You can do it multiple times too to stall even more, which is taken to the absolute extreme when you get into the force break version, where it just kind of gets ridiculous. But hey, it is a JD and a Guilty Gear game, so it does have landing recovery, which can be punished if read. But mostly use it as a air combo ender and then cancel into a special move of your choice. Sometimes they fall out of the hits, which leads to your DP counter hitting them, so you know, take those rare opportunities when they happen. I recommend DP as the combo ender after JD, but you can use air missile with certain spacings, plus if it doesn't actually combo, they still have to block it. This means you can also cancel into Force Break, or as I call it, EX Copter, to get better positioning. Alright, enough memory stick teasing, let's actually get to EX Copter now. Also known as Today's Sky's Beautiful. Yes, all the specials and 2D are Kai-based puns. Think of it like JD without a hitbox, but you can steer it wherever you want. Meaning zoning will be trivial once you have meter, and it lets you escape the corner and reposition to your will. And as mentioned before, combined with regular JD and more EX Copters to further run away and stall out the match if you really want to. Did you really use your air dash and your double jump? Well, don't worry, EX Copter refreshes your air actions on you, so you're fine, do it again. You know what else it refreshes? More importantly, your heatometer. So here I noticed I was about to bust with no Potemkin in sight, so I hopped on my bicycle and I rode it where I liked. A decrease in 20 degrees will take you out of the high heat zone pretty quickly, so it can be a lifesaver. It can be used for gimmicky not that move mix-ups with a easy left and right, but there's a better move for that I'll show soon. Because this move can be highly telegraphed when used anywhere besides point blank, so you want to FD out of it. Luckily you're able to be defensive with it, but honestly I prefer to be offensive with it. Use it like a little hop to apply pressure from further away, or pick up that combo when you otherwise wouldn't. Hell, add another jump to your air combo as if you were Chip, you really need that damage. Or I think it shines the most is how easy it is to use. How easy it is to get a double overhead with JS using it here. On block, you're still fine. Either hit gives a combo, especially if one of them counter hits. Instant overheads are now an actual threat if you Tiger Knee the EX Copter, which can be thoroughly terrifying with how quick it actually is. Especially since you can just fake it and go low. Technically the best normal for the instant overhead is JK since it's the fastest, but it can be tough to not accidentally land and go low, which, I mean, hey, still a great option. And I didn't even realize you could air dash here, so you can if you really want to. And it really just opens up the freedom since it is so free form. I mean, here, I tried to get like a safe jump, but I knew if I landed, I'd be thrown, so I just stalled in the air instead. It can even be used to chase down and air throw people. Go for it. But let's be real, you're going to want to use this to close the distance and ensure you bust right next to your opponent with your clock. Robo-Freudian slip, sorry. And the next ZX move is... just says Ice Cream Machine broke. Well, I guess if he only has one force break move, I guess we'll move on to specials. And boy does this special feel like it really is its own force break. I'm going to introduce this move, SpiKY, just to demonstrate its power, its girth. Just demonstrate here. Yeah, I'm in shambles, but I'll find a way to beat it. I mean, at a distance, it clashes at least. Yeah, so it turns out it's fully invincible to a point. But for real, this is what I believe Slayer 6P is. But in this case, it's Robo-Ky's running move. Just look at that hitbox. It's tall, hits the floor, so you cannot slip past it. You do have to be running for 20 frames first, and it only starts with upper body invul in frame 5 before becoming full invul in frame 9. But you're still invul before and 5 frames after the attack, even on block. So even if they slash back to punish Robodash and happen to have a 3-frame move, they whiff. Unless they mash twice, then fine, whatever. With great honor, I get to say, f you, Testament Trees, I'm still safe. Especially since you're 0 on block, you can really throw this out as long as you have the time and space to run. Speaking of, it'll autocorrect if they hop or teleport over you before you initiate the attack. That's nice. And again, invincible, so it's a great anti-air too. If you didn't have to run first, this move would make Robert beyond broken. So make sure it's a staple in your Wii Ball strategies. Bonus number 1 to Robodash is that after a successful hit, you automatically T-pose on your opponent, asserting your dominance. Bonus number 2 is that this is how you'll get most of your meter during a round, generating about half of your meter in one full T-pose. As long as you hit, the meter gain will trigger, so even if you OTG, it's gonna happen. And don't worry, even if they tech out quickly from an OTG, bonus number 3 will have your back. This T-pose is also... Is that not enough? Alright, fine. Bonus number 4. You can cancel that invincible T-pose into any action besides blocking and moving. So you can just spam the invincible neutral skip into invincible meter generating taunt into a DP or super if you really wanted to. Also, I lied. You can block, bonus number 5, because you can just FD and then jump or move or block how you want. Usually use it to assess the situation or even go for another Robodash if you want to. I typically go for dumb stuff like DP super since it'll just kind of beat everything. And accounts for if you clash with one of their invul moves, which, speaking of, due to its disjoint and invul, you'll clash a lot. So at first you may not know how to react and may panic like this, try to FD or hit a favorable button every time you Robodash, but it's not always that easy. At worst, you get nothing on block. At best, you're safe from a mash or beat them out completely for an easy punish. Sadly, you cannot cancel against armor or guard points, so you must rely on meter to cancel. I just got really lucky these times against these players because invincibility really helps Robert skate by here, and I mean literally skate. Okay. It doesn't relegate Kyle to only going through buttons. Rightfully so, it can also go through projectiles. Okay. Timing it right can not only let you skip neutral, but can also bypass right through the projectile wall and their attempt to keep you out. Use this, and in combination with the T-pose invuln, to get in and stay in, and stick to those Testament Justice players, the degenerates. You've seen Robodash clash with DPs, but the truth is, you can just beat them outright if you time it right. The rule of thumb is the later the better, and if it doesn't work, it'll usually trade, and you can usually answer back with your own. Nice try, defective copy. I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise to a move that beats Slayer 6P, but this also means supers are easily beaten if you slide into their DMs on Oki. Again, it's all timing. Sometimes you'll clash, sometimes you'll trade, but just do it. It's worth the risk. Oh, God. What better example to show the timing for than the Order Soul charge? But the truth is, Robodash and that move can actually both whiff unless you delay enough till their charge burst actually recovers. Again, later the better. Or just be sick as fucking slashback it. And then sit there and shock because you weren't ready to actually punish it, but the idea was there. It's cool. The only downside to all this invincibility privilege is them whiffing through you and you're not ready for it, or you try to cancel too early and you beef it. Oh! Okay. final bonus, in quotation since there is a caveat. So parries like Axles and Justices will usually let you punish on contact because you invuln through the attack. Just beware that Justices still damages you. It's just hard-coded to do so it's pretty funny looking.
What?
Alright, now when you counter hit with it, and you will, since it goes through literal supers, you get Wallbound City. You can run up into a simple extension, or spend meter for an air combo with 5H, especially damaging in the corner with missile loops. How about a little oora to clean up the match, make sure they don't burst, you know? One, please. And remember, it's safe on block, so you can Frape Trap with a 5H, Beta Throw with HunKY here, or get nuts with DP if they're pressing. Just so you know, 0 on block doesn't mean to Potemkin, since anything besides jump isn't going to beat Pop Buster, especially if he backdashes. There are some character-specific ways that you can avoid Robodash, so whether it's intentional on their part, or maybe the brain cell just got lucky that day. Final note, for real this time, if you spent meter recently before the Robodash, the T-pose won't give you meter because of that meter penalty.
No.
But just be aware and cancel out of it instead of charging up.
Silly.
Right. It does have a FRC point, but it only is right before the hitbox actually comes out. The invincibility still transfers to those FRC frames, but like, why? I mean, it looks cool, but you're already throwing out one of your best moves. Like, don't cancel it for 25 meter. And on to... God damn it! I don't like you. You don't look bad, but my sensors don't go swing for some reason. Riveting. Do you just type the first thing that comes to your mind? Blue Birthmark was a mistake. Anyway, Bazooka, aka don't get cocky. I get it. Okay. The blue birthmark makes sense now next to your slashes. It really screams, please laugh at my jokes. Let's see how Robert makes up for that with this move's amazing usefulness. I'm making him beg on the streets again. I'm gonna make him beg on the streets. Hey, it's just our first special that relies on meter to function. It also happens to be the worst. You see, these next specials change depending on how much meter you currently have, and each will spend 1 pip per use. So now you see why 2D and Robodash were so integral. At no meter, you're at level 1. 1 to 4 pips gives you level 2, and 5 pits and beyond are all level 3. These levels are how I will refer to the moves from here on forward, so keep it in mind. So level 1 Bazooka can be used on HunKY since it does become plus 22. You just have to make sure you're really close for all 3 hits to connect. I mean, just look at that hitbox though. I mean, it's rare you'll have 0 meter, but when it happens, don't throw this move out. Level 2 is where we get an extra hit, more range through its larger hitbox, and it's plus 38 now. We go from oh stinky to hey yeah alright, this is what I'm talking about. Stays on screen longer, and even absorbs projectiles way better than level 1 did. This will typically be your experience since you should have at least some meter, and then you're going to use it on HunKY to lock them down and mix them. After 2D, run up with 5P, go for Bazooka for best mileage. If it hits, confirm into a knockdown, do it again, and on block, push them out, reset to neutral. Level 3 is the stay winning version with a massive hitbox, more range, and being plus 54. That's not even the most plus thing that Robert has. You'll see, don't worry. It has the same startup as level 2, but because of the range and the hitbox that you usually sweep and set up from, the hitbox is now in their face earlier hitting them, locking them down at further distances and even in neutral. This is one you can more easily sneak into your block strings and just keep them blocking for as long as you want to stall them for. They try to FD to negate the chip damage, they're just putting themselves in the hole for a longer time, so stop wasting your pips, get in there and mix them. And mix you shall, since having almost a full second to pick how you want to mix them is kind of a lot. Low, overhead, and of course the beloved command grab.
You'll never expect it! Let's go.
As a projectile itself, it can interrupt their approach and even some supers because of how active it is, but it is very linear, a bit slow, and can be low profile, sadly. Basically, just don't be predictable with it and use it mostly for HunKY. God damn you, 3-frame pop buster. Every time. Alright, HunKY time. Probably the most visually identifiable move he has since it just looks so weird. If you fought Robert, you've seen this move. All versions put Robert above the ground and can low crush with it, ramming his opponent with his other head, let's say. And hey, there's that weird parry thing with Justice again. It also works with this. All of this plus the cross up makes this move look pretty funky. Whoa. Which is its name. The level 1 HunKY, it's slow, goes nowhere, and it's something you really shouldn't go for. But it can still low crush, it's still plus 2, so you do manage to keep them blocking, I guess. The real juice, just like with most of these special, is the level 2.
Oh
my god, 2D. Nearly half the startup and goes way further. HunKY level 2 is typically used to close a distance and frame trap after a block shrink, since a counter hit does give a nice ground slide. You can be smart with it if you want, but seeing how Order Soul uses Rocket makes me want to do that. So as long as you have meter, you can just bully your opponent as long as they don't slip underneath and catch the recovery. Oh. And even if blocked, you're +5 and push back far enough where you're safe enough to even poke with your disjointed far slash if you want. You can also use this as a throw base since you are off the ground when riding, causing an easy counter hit. Comboing off of counter hit mid-screen can be a little challenging, but you can get a Robodash if you're on point. Hey, at least you can confirm into 5P on crouching hit and medium heat, of course. Ooh. Okay, test it out. It turns out you don't need heat for these confirms. Hell, even standing level 2 HunKY will work with 5K and 2P for a knockdown. You just have to be very close enough to basically be kissing them. Not a bad thing, just gotta be close. Yeah, this is really where the heat management comes into play. Of course, more damage and the whole potential for exploding thing, but heat also gives more hit stun frames, which is the most important part to this cowboy. Because in higher heats, you can start doing loops, just not in like medium or low heats. You can do simple close slash, high heat horse on the ground, or take to the air because HunKY now launches in this heat. See, after a level 2 horse hits, you can 5H FRC into a close slash pickup because another HunKY round won't actually connect here. That's with medium heat. Suddenly with high heat though, that juggle just kinda works. It just works, kinda. If level 1 HunKY with high heat lets you confirm, the air stuff definitely works here. Starting closer, you can kinda see how it works, but only this horse had more power. Horsepower. We'll just leave that ominous thread hanging for later and come back to it since we have to talk about level 3 HunKY now. Half the startup, double the active frames compared to level 1, and it's +8. Well, call me Arthur Morgan, Blue Balls. This is the best dang ball I ever done seen. Frame traps from pressure, it can even cross over or through opponents. If they're down or invuln, this can happen a lot, leading to some funky, get it, setups after a command grab, for example. Oh. I tend to find these situations by accident. It's like, I just really want to get in there, and whoops, I'm over here. Whoops, I'm over here again. Sorry, Faust, you're just really small. What? These cross-ups can range from very reactable to, Jesus, that put me in the corner. All down to timing. Maybe it'll hit cross-up, maybe it'll whiff, maybe you'll toss out a 5K. You know, they can't know the mix if you don't know yourself. This can lead to you getting a little creative, I saw this one, by setting up another command grab from that first one. Pretty much a guarantee since command grab tends to give you enough meter for a level 3 HunKY. We'll get to how the meter seal works soon enough though. And as you can expect, being +8, a lot of far slash level 3 horse bowling is afoot. And hey, with high heat, you can get a crouching confirm. Let's talk about combos without heat first. Counter hit gives an easy wall bounce, but just because you have HunKY level 3 doesn't mean you can loop it yet. Best way to pick off of it is 5H FRC for an air combo, even while they're grounded since level 3 HunKY launches by default now. Alright, so level 3 HunKY is ideally what you want when you're going for big damage, if the game will let you without it overheating itself. Oh no! Oh, come on. Oh my god, what the fuck is happening? Alright, so ideally it would look like this. If you were locked at 80 heat and full meter. Amazing, right? Lots of damage. Again, training mode settings. But here's the reality. Quickly exploding, but still doing a damn good grip on that health bar. I don't care it's chip. So if you get a launch of some sort, and you have level 3 HunKY, go for some loops, boy. Probably the most versatile special. Junkie Bargain, or Air Missile. Clashes with projectiles and explodes on contact. It's great to zone with, but level 1 raises your heat by 20 whole degrees compared to the level 2 and 3 only 4 degrees, so watch your pips. Oh yeah. Oh no. All version lets you air dash forward or backwards right afterwards, letting you keep your distance or confirm into a combo. Oh, alright. You are actual on your way down, so FD to avoid those anti-airs. But beware, once you land, you do have landing recovery, similar to JD. Even though I was holding FD here, the 14 frames of recovery kicked in. See how you land and crouch a bit here? If you neutral jump, or land during a button's active frames, it'll be negated, letting you act as normal. Not the easiest thing to master, but cut those recovery frames. Okay, so you should never ever use level 1 missile, right? But I could do something funny like this. Just like Robert's Slash followers, the missile goes limp and drops straight down, which weirdly can be a pretty decent zoning technique if they're used to running under your level 2 or 3 missiles. If it can hit Ground Viper and Faust Super like a Modern Warfare 2 Predator missile, it might be worth saying it's 0 meter for. At worst, it's still a hitbox in the air initially, so you can barrel stuff them in the face as a callout, but at a third of the damage that the other 2 versions do. Now level 2 is better in every way, and the one you'll have access to most. First off, it homes and goes full screen. Fantastic for shutting down zoners before they even get started, and even interrupting their current attempts since it kind of finds its way in pretty easily. Second off, level 2 missile has a 2 times multiplier on stun. So if this thing ever counter hits, even if you haven't touched your opponent yet, they could just lose. So for our 50 and 55 stun value resistant characters, 1 counter hit with 2 missiles is all it takes round start. For our 60 value stun resistance like Soul and Older Soul, it's unlikely, but due to how stun values vary slightly with a little bit of RNG, it can happen. So just imagine what this can do mid-game when you already are just playing normally and you land a counter hit missile. Turns out it's summoning a whole bunch of mini Roberts to Kyle them to death. Neat. His instant kill is called 13 Lucky because actually I have no idea. Anyway, take this match with Biker. I got a DP and a counter hit 2H. Some time goes by and BAM! Counter hit level 2 missiles, GG, shake my hand. The only real way to mess this up is just to misspace your IK activation and just whiff IK altogether. No! But I would... I would never... No! Damn it! And fun fact, you can actually duck Soul's IK for most characters. Oh. Don't know why. Funny. Just like with level 1, you can barrel stuff them, but it does hit harder, so it's not a terrible idea to chase them down. But I found baiting DPs and movement with air dash back level 2 missile gave me so much success. Plus the wall bounce that a counter hit gives plops them right in front of you. Perfect for an IK. How nice! Tracking itself on the missile is of course very useful for just covering space, or just confirming the first missile hitting, leaving some of the easiest stuns while I'm just trying to zone. Yeah, I zone, so what? I decided to show my face like this the first time I played a zoner. I'm not afraid. Missile is an all-time great. So sprinkling in an air dash beforehand can make the missile confirm a little bit easier, but why not throw in a JS or a JH to tack on some extra damage and stun? If you do, remember to watch your heatometer. Right, forgot that's a thing, but luckily the stun never forgets, so the future is now, old man. Sweet. Alright, real combos with level 2 missiles are dedicated to the corner. Basically, if you have a launch in the corner with any meter, try spamming missiles. The timing is tough, but since your mix is so good in the corner, it's worth learning. Just, don't run out of meters since level 1 missiles won't do you any good, and probably better DP here. Go in the replay, let's find out actually. If you're not comfy doing 2S5H FRC, TKDP yet, or even the throw FRC, 5D Impossible Dust does give you the missile loops in the corner as well. And don't forget the throw FRC stun combo that I mentioned probably like a half hour ago at this point. Damn, this video is long. Like and subscribe. Ever get blown to full screen like some sort of defective Kai with no real way to get back in? Do you have at least 50 meter? Have you tried anti-zoning like a Kyle instead with level 3 missile? Yes, the random bullshit go of this character where if you run out of level 3 missiles, you are rewarded with more level 2 missiles to spam at them instead. So level 3 missile splits into 4 mini homing rockets, stuffs whatever idiotic thing that they were just doing, locks them down for seconds at a time while you run in right behind them. Doesn't do a lot of chip damage, but it'll make your opponent waste their meeting thinking they have to FD anyway. It's like your meter or your life situation that I'm sure Robert learned from Venom at some point. Archangel's a bitch. The damage itself is better than level 2 if all of the missiles hit. But honestly, that's not what you're here for. It's more of a bonus. Oh, killed him. It's more for you to get in, but I guess you could use it to mix, I suppose. The barrel stuff technique still works also. It very surprisingly in that case. Wait, was real? Wait, what the? If you hit within the early active frames, it acts like a regular level 2 missile, wall bouncing on counter hit, but now it also wall bounces on regular hit too. The wall bounce also helps any follow-up missiles to home in and confirm the hit, or pester them as they struggle to get down. It's hard to tell what counter hit small missiles do since others hit right afterwards. I suggest dashing in and just doing it again. Oh, alright. Let's say you whiff the mini missiles in the corner. Wait for it. No, you didn't. Oh my god. Yeah, so when I meant homing mini missiles, I meant ET phone home type. These Sex Pistols looking things will drift back towards the enemy as long as they were decently near them when fired. And on more than several occasions, Combo broke me out of pretty hairy situations. Oh no, I don't want to shoot a missile. Oh, okay. At worst, it's your turn. At best, free pickup. This thing doesn't care how low profile you get. Venom. It's still gonna hit the floor, Mr. Bad Guy. Just to emphasize, you can fire in the complete opposite direction with the missiles off screen, and there's a fat chance they're still gonna get got. What? Your best bet is just to sit back and wait for it to smack him in the face. The off-screen shenanigans is really only beaten by Zappa with his tiny, stupid golf balls interrupting my interruption. Oh, what? Rude. And just like the high heat 2H intercontinental Kyle missile, it can also interrupt supers. No. Yes. Trust me, he needs it. That's the main benefit for level 3 air missile, is that you're pretty safe, whereas level 2 missile can be run under and punish your landing. Of course, they can be flicked and you are in the air, so you're still vulnerable to the Stone Cold Buster. Holy f***. But I think the fact that you can just tech out and throw these missiles out and immediately be rewarded with pressure or stun makes it a very worthwhile risk. What's not worthwhile is following Kyle on XX, apparently. Oh, a twofer. Good. You passed the test, lady. You're just my type. Skip the fluff and marry me. Female detected. Today is your lucky day, lady. Please be my wife. Using female isn't really helping his case. If he wants 2 wives, he better be from Utah. So speaking of risk and reward, Kyle's DP. What isn't a risk is the name of HunKY Homerun. Pretty tame and unrewarding. What is a risk, but also rewarding, is the level 3 DP name Wacky Blow. Just rearrange the letters a little bit here. Who knows it could be? So first hitbox is a nice rectangle around Roberts so we can hit backwards, and second hit is an upward slash that is great for anti-airing. Only level 2 and 3 get the 2 hitboxes. Especially since on counter hit you do get a nice float to combo off of. There's no knockdown move like regular Kai, so I usually opt to anti-air on the way down. And with some extra heat, you do have even more time to convert. If you're too far, you get an opportunity to mix with DP, but we're getting ahead of ourselves there. Anti-airing is pretty good, and I thought I was in heat for this Faust clip, but no. DP is just a good starter for damage, I guess. If you're level 2 or 3, that initial hitbox can clash while the second can follow through and hit them. Level 1 DP may as well not exist since it only has throw invuln and only one hit, the second one, the upward slash. So raises heat by 20 degrees, has triple the startup, and has an FRC point that's impossible to access since you need no meter to do a level 1 DP, so it's only accessible and even viewable in training mode. Here, take a look. Romantic is right. That's what Roman cancel stands for, by the way. Fun fact. It was in Strive, they took it out. Unless you get a clean anti-air, avoid this move. Even then, you don't even get a combo on counter hit. Like I mentioned, level 2 and level 3 is what you want, just like all the other specials, and they function pretty similarly unless you get that first hit of level 3 DP. So 7 frames of invuln on level 2 and 12 frames of invuln on level 3, so you'll see a lot of clashes on Wake Up, and if you use it on offense. Accidentally mash H again for a blindingly fast 5H, or get jump H, which may also clash. Just like Volcanic Viper, the 2 hits can cover you, and if they don't, just mash DP again, duh. Reject Robo, become Monkey again. Beware, you only have 7 frames of invuln on level 2, which you think is enough, but what? I've gotten hit out of the startup of it so many times, and I feel like it's not even invuln at all. What the f***? I DP'd! It seems like most of the time, the initial 3 frame startup rectangle around Robert misses. Then before the second hitbox comes out, Kyle is hit out of it. But if I'm counting right, then the invuln ends on the same frame as the hitbox starts, so it should trade like James, uncarded Ryujin, right? Am I the crazy one? Yeah, the Discord does say I'm the crazy one. They explained it for me. They pointed out how the invuln only covers the first hitbox that runs out before the second hitbox, which makes way more sense. Damn, that 6K from Slayer really hops over that entire initial hitbox, huh? Alright, the key to using his invuln to the best of its ability is having at least half meter, so you have more invuln frames, mashing it on Clash, okay, even on Oki, relax me, or just doing it slightly later than the other guy. That was sick. Yeah, that'll show the defective one who's the defect. Is he using that as a slur? Should I not be saying that? I think he's using... I'm not going to use that anymore. Okay. Level 3, the moment you've all been waiting for, I think.
Got 50 meter and got that initial first hit. Welcome to automatic super activation software.
Depends on the character and the hype, but combos are possible off of it. Only got the second hit, then you get nothing! Good day, sir! Unless you combo off of it, then good on you, son. I guess you do get something.
So yeah, even if they're far or even behind you, it'll activate, and the range is deceptively good. Very rarely it'll drop. Usually if they're really low or very late in a drawn out combo will the second hit actually whiff.
Oh, okay.
And since it is an actual super, it will lock out burst, but that first hit is still burstable. Not that you would want to burst there. If anything, it's a trap, as burst serves them right up to be fish filleted. Oh! Now that we got all the grounded DP stuff out of the way, what about the air? Using it as an air combo ender is fine, but some characters can take advantage or even punish on the way down, especially if you are using level 1 DP. Again, just don't use level 1 DP because level 2 and 3 are actually overheads that you can use for mix. Remember, 5k is jump cancelable, so Tiger Knee DP is basically unreactable from here. 5 frame pre-jump and 3 frame startup, so let's say 10 frame overhead to account for error and input travel is insanely fast. Now only the first hit of the air DP is the actual overhead, so if you land the second hit crouching somehow, they won't get opened up. Because it is still a DP, that invincibility can get you out of some real jams just for trying to mix them.
Because of this speed, you'll close out a lot of rounds with this because when you're running at them, the last thing they're going to expect is a run-up instant overhead. Not many characters have that.
Okay, fine, Johnny, my bad. Rollback says you win here.
What the f***?
Okay, that May clip, I don't know if it's a left or right side. I'll go back in the edit to check, but make sure to put, like, get if it was across it. Alright, cool. Anyway, this will be a good option to rotate when locking them down with a bazooka, but it is risky. No, not that, unless you have meter to RC, of course. Because the RC window is so large, you could easily hit confirm and tack on a few extra damage. In the corner though, instant overhead into missile loops goes crazy. So it's totally worth the 50, unless you don't need the 50 or don't have the 50, because you can use the FRC point for 25 meter. Punish them thinking that they have a punish, or just be safe from your own crash out moment. So let's not forget to FD on the way down, just in case if you spend the 25 meter, and don't forget the heatometer, because you might explode. Want to check your blood pressure while we're at it? But for real, use it to extend combos, save meter for missile loops, and then come down with whatever option you really need. Even an air dash, just to reposition quicker, is valuable for such a small cost. So where do you think all that meter comes from? You think 2D and Robodash is all you have? Forgot that Kyle is not only a creep in theory, but handsy as well by using his command grab, Skyline. Yeah, why wasn't the EX Copter given this name instead? So meter siphoning relatively slow command grab at 7 frames seems meh, right? Well, it also has 7 frames of throw invul, and paired with your lockdown Oki, it is a necessary tool to mix effectively. Take 5p, which is +7, remember? Yeah, jackpot, all 7s, woo! This makes it much easier to run up after a poke and pull him in for a meter stealing kiss. Sometimes you just gotta show him that you have it, whiff it for the timing, you know?
Other buttons also work like the +3 2p or the standing low and 5k. You remember those, right? Buttons, we did those like probably an hour ago at this point. Callbacks.
And because they're afraid of the 5k spam, you can let one rip and grab them while you're in their face smelling their cologne. Even a gimmicky move, not that, like 2k sliding into home base, gets you close to them and keeps them scared of the threat of 2s. You'll get the feeling of it, so just use it. But why does this work in Robert's kit, you may ask? Remember that running invincible safe special that Kyle has, and what happens if they mash throw on it? And what do you usually do if you want to get into grab distance? You run at them. They risk dying to Robodash or getting meter stolen basically, so most are gonna sit still. There are other ways to get this to connect, like stagger from a 6H, grabbing Anji guard points, cliff dodge, or even testament parry. Enough zoning, I got you right where I... Damn you, agriculture! So you steal 20% meter, right? Well, what if they don't have any?
Oh, they don't meter.
So less hits and barely any meter gain. This also goes if you spent meter because of meter penalty, you get nothing. It also works the opposite way, so if you have tension pulse or if you're on the 2D mat, you can get from 50 to full meter, even if they have no meter themselves. And from this command grab, the Oki is actually great, so you can do a running JP over their head, land for a low, or air dash back and do an overhead with TKDP.
There are some gimmicky, not you, setups like backdash level 3 Horsey and even overclock punch super whiff that scares your opponent stiff so you can just yoink their splink. But what do you actually get off it? It's very character dependent and varies with how many hits you get off of it, so it's not usually worth doing until you know every instance by heart. All I do know is that you can RC the last hit of the command grab, and since you usually do get about 50 from the grab itself, this is an easy lights out for ABBA with her last bit of Maroha meter. Overclock super is a high risk, high reward super. Just wait. Yeah, so it's really cool. Well, hold on. Again, it's a move that does that. See, I won, didn't I? This move is called Risky Lovers, and the dust loop does literally say high risk, high reward, but sick. That would be correct. The activation itself isn't actually invulnerable, so don't expect to get away with it on wake up. Though you can use the super flash to react to your opponent. Hopefully, react well. Oh, this is your install super. This is your Dragon Install.exe. First off, you gain faster movement and regenerate meter automatically. So backdash to your heart's content, get in your opponent's face faster than before, and generally scare them into avoiding you. And avoid you they should, because any hit or block pressure could turn them into getting caught in the explosion. So using that running invincible dash attack to bully your way in, RC, whatever it takes to get into kissing distance. Honestly, just sneaking like underneath them, cross them up is a very effective tactic. Just as long as the power of rollback isn't on their side. What? Also, there's no risk to overheating in this mode. As soon as you install, you will constantly lose heat as you generate meter. Funny enough, IK mode actually does this the same way too, so you slowly reduce heat and even preventing you from busting. Except you don't get to spend meter willy-nilly and get only level 1 specials no matter how much you save them beforehand. Robbed, I say! Once you explode, you lose all your meter, and it'll even wait until after throw animations or even waking up to then pop you. Oh. But if you are in the middle of an opponent's combo, instead of getting knocked down, you tend to like tech out of it, so it's kind of like a burst. And Kyle has a lot of pseudo bursts. Kyle's a slippery motherfucker. These pops can also wait until after moves like DP, or super, or cash out some combos, but can happen at inopportune moments like, you know, if you wanted to like IK, well, too bad. Oh no! God damn it. There is a way around it, technically. And that's because just like overheats, overclock puts an unblockable hitbox on top of you to make sure you pop as intended, but this also means you can slashback it. So I only managed to do it once in an actual match, but it's worth going for practicing in replay mode since you're gonna explode anyway, so you might as well just look cool doing it. But be ready to slashback more than 44 times at least, since there's only supposed to be 27 actual hits that the overclock does. And I did, you know, I thought I did all 27 here, but not so. I'm gonna pre. Turns out it's a logic loop in the code where it keeps checking if Robert exploded once the countdown is 0. This is actually an image from Stormlock. Check him out in the Discord. He's like the godfather of Robo-Ky also. As you may know, Slashback is a 2-frame window to hit, and on successful parry, the 2-frame window widens to 6 frames, so it is a bit easier once you get the initial one, but you can't block after a successful or a failed Slashback, and that hitbox is still gonna be there, so you're kinda locked into the all or nothing of it. What I'm trying to say is be ready to slashback between 300 and 400 times in a row. So the game checks after the slashback. Has Robert exploded? No? Explode! And repeat. Wish my girlfriend was like that. Right? Yeah. No. Whoa, no, stop! Anyway, if your opponent is actually caught in the explosion, you're plus 118. Yeah, 118. So any mix-up, just go for it. Just remember, you're at no meter and no heat, so your punches aren't going to be that strong, but you have all the time in the world. And by the way, using the delayed getup also delays the explosion as expected. So this whole time, the counter and the timer is gone, so your opponent might think it's gone or forget you had it to begin with. Now it may look like the explosion is invincible because of these 2 bursts just whiffing up close point blank, but I can't find any evidence of this on the dust loop sadly. But you are actually vulnerable in that little bubble over there, as Slayer will kindly demonstrate here. You do take a little bit of damage from this, but it is a small price to pay for just the amount of advantage and time you get to reset your position in the match. And by time, timing time. You have like 5 whole seconds to contemplate your life decisions, or at least your next attack. 2D Matt into Robodash gives you a full stick back and is very important for a certain named combo we will get to soon. Sometimes you don't actually have to think, since it's a decent guts crush on its own. It's more than just a time wasting machine after all. To effectively waste their time, you're going to need to use all of your movement like EX Copter, level 3 specials to get in there and explode all over them. Common ways to open them up is alternating between 5K and 5D, since at this point they're blocking a lot, so their risk is probably pretty high unless they FD, and they might just die anyway from that combo. The smartest thing they could do is smack you out of the air or end their combo in a way that is far away from them. Again, once the timer is going, very little can delay it, so remember to use that super effectively and check out of those damn air combos that is not real. No. No! Oh. Huh. The best part about the overclock super is they have to sit there and watch the entire time, not able to burst, and at the very last minute when they're finally out of haha, gotcha, you fell for it, why would you think I would let you do that? Or there was a way to extend the unburstable super with an even longer unburstable super, making it loopable, and you know what, throwing a JoJo's reference in there while we're at it, yeah, that's perfect, just, you know, right behind me, isn't it? The most versatile and memeable Robert super. What is useless will always be so. Which is amazingly the only move that is not a Kai-based pun because of a JoJo's reference was just way too important apparently. He also says this to Venom, which I don't think is a JoJo's reference but sounds similar. Ever heard of practice makes perfect? It's a total lie. The dumb will always be dumb. Words to live by. It even has the kanji behind him like the manga. And it even says, whatever this is, I'll put it in the edit. Anyway, it's a great move to prevent bursts and close rounds as it combos from command grab, which usually gives you that meter that you need for it anyway. I knew it! Good summit! You bitch! I'm gonna have to cut that. I'll have to cut that. The level 3 horsey and command grab into super punch lets you reliably combo until you explode without a burst interrupting you at all. A match made in heaven. Just be careful since this move generates a lot of heat and you bust pretty quickly. And just because it's a super doesn't mean you're invincible during it. No! However, you are +6, so you can use this as a safe frame trap. The reason being is that this thing has 2 frames of startup, 2 frames, with decent forward travel, so use to pick up combos even when you don't think it will. So Johnny always falls out of combos since he's a heavy boy. Not here. And this, of course, complements the foreshadowed combo using its speed to pick up with frame-perfect juggles. But first, how does it work? Well, you mash S, and you keep punching for as long as you want, but without an overclock behind you, you may want to use the 236S headbutt follow-up at the end. Using the follow-up attack, it can also be used as a tool to reset heat, especially useful during mid-combos when you're about to bust. As a quote from Dustloop, they are in on it as well. Just like that one time someone put a link to my 6P videos on the page's description on Dustloop. Funny. The headbutt reduces heat, which can save you, but it is minus on block at -11. Unless you're at 94 degrees or higher, which for some reason it's only -4 then. This degree of heat is also where the headbutt gives a unique wall bounce to combo off of. Just be aware that these are those long combos I mentioned in the DP super section where the gravity and the combo time scaling understandably makes some things drop here, so just keep it in mind. That's why it pays to keep it short if you're going to use the headbutt to combo. High heat already and scored a hit, go directly into headbutt, land and delete their health bar with even a simple follow-up. It's not really worth the headbutt without heat unless you like having less damage and low heat properties. So why not? Let the punches stop, gain a bunch of heat, and be plus for a frame trap. Let them drop, keep the heat, get a 2D and a bazooka down for Oki. Yeah, this super includes every aspect of this complicated character, lets you do what you want with the results. I think it's honestly genius design. And for the moment everyone that clicked on this video has been waiting for. The Nezu Combo. Skim through the Exerd story, but Robodash through the spikes, overclock and a command grab is how I'm pretty sure he actually killed Batman. But because the overclock explosion is a self-damaging super, no, we're not talking about Slashback, that means you can burst out of it. That means you can burst out early and begin mixing on block, or tack a few more hits on if you want to. But if you're frame perfect, you can lock them out of burst and kill them at about this health, depending on the character. And 27 seconds. So you are now the Guts Grinder, with the combination of 2 punch supers and 2 overclock explosions. It is an actual checkmate if you can actually do it, but man is it unforgivably hard. The combo is as follows. Be in overclock already, command grab them, punch super as long as possible while gaining just the right amount of height, explode, burst immediately, 2D into frame perfect Robodash while standing on the mat and manually timing the overclock super and then the punch super just before they hit the ground. Then finish off the punch super until you inevitably explode again and then tack on any last emergency hits that they hopefully die from. It is an absolutely insane ask for the amount of factors, and it doesn't account for opponents' weight, size, and their positioning when you actually do explode. Common drops when you go for this include OTGing the punch super, since any of these factors, of course, or the so classic where his f***ing legs don't exist and you pass right through them. No, what the fuck? I suggest practicing on lightweights first, since they're visually floatier and tend to be a little bit easier landed on, at least I found. So I would say try it in a match and then practice it back in replay so you can skip the tedious parts at the beginning, so you can get to the 2D, Robodash, double super part, the frame perfect stuff. With enough practice, the stars may align, and you can kiss them goodbye. One, two. Oh my god, I didn't even need it. I didn't even explode. Alright. A lot more after that, but the idea is there. Thank you for watching. This is the outro and also the bread and butter section. Wow, you skipped the whole video and now you don't get this this joke, a wacky blow. Yeah, but you're feeling pretty dumb right now. All in all, this character's weird and finicky as hell, and really pushes your patience since you can't learn one part of him without interacting with all of his other mechanics. I mean, training mode kind of helps, but it's not easy. You might want to know how his different levels of specials work, but now you're overheating or don't have enough heat to actually make the combos connect correctly. Of course, even trying high heat combos inherently is risky. No, not that. And gets you killed if you beef it in a real match. But really, this is a 13-year-old game. That clip I showed you of Stormlock, that's 17 years old. I know it's a different version, but these games are old. So my advice is don't take online so seriously if you lose. It's really a learning experience, and due to its age and player count, more of an antique. You just have to have fun with it, even if it's just the novelty of it. I'm still going all in Exert and Plus R since they are my favorite games, and I do try hard online, of course. But I also like to mash. And I learn by having fun, so enjoy whatever character you're playing, and remember, games are meant to be fun. If you're not having fun, take a break. Come back when you're ready. It'll always be there. At least I'll be online, so you can wait for me. I suggest going into training mode where you can fix the heat in the meters so you can see exactly what happens with what move and when and on what counter hit. You just won't be able to see how they change your meters when you actually use them, so that's kind of the hard part to set up. That's where replay comes in. So you ever see a situation like, oh, did I use my heat correctly? Did I have meter? Go and replay. Do the same thing. It's right there. It's a quick reset. Promise it's better. So final thoughts, do I think Robo-Ky is a bad character? No. Is his access to reliable tools and consistent combos a problem for new players? Yes. Does it feel that much better when you put those pieces together and become semi-competent, or at least hit that one combo you practiced in a real match? I think you know the answer. Do I think Robo-Ky is a good person? Well, let's see. Oh, it's about Axel, apparently. Regardless of the outcome, we still shake hands afterward. That's the kind of friendship I want to keep. Wow. Maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. Maybe he really turned. That was Kai. What? Hold on, I found the real one. You can't do anything without your weapons. You're the dumbest one. Dumb. Yeah, that tracks more. All right, my bad. Like this video if you got this far, because why else would you be here at this point? It's not like you skipped here for the combos or anything. You must really love me. I know. I feel it too. And subscribe if you want to see more of these. Since up next is everyone's favorite masochist, Raven. Can't wait to hear his moans on repeat for months. Editing and playing him, making it. And if you want to support me, I have these little membership things, $1, $5. $5 is the one where I have like the friend slot playlist. If you want to see the Lethal Company and the peak clips, if you want, it's just support me. If you want to, they're funny. I think they are, at least. Just like Robo-Ky at the end of Exert, go in pieces. And half marry a baker who thirsts over Dio Brando's voice actor because I would. Bye. Thank you to my Monkey Level and Monkey Prime contributors who I would still be here without, but it's very nice that you do so anyway. Don't forget to vote for the next Plus R mini main. Link is in the description. And Slayer, say the line.
It's not over yet.